Alright, hey guys, what's up? This is my third YouTube video today. It's going to be a little bit different. It's not a product review, but it's going to be for those who are either just interested in or you are going through the process or want to go through the process to become a flight attendant and get your CJO. So I personally got my CJO a couple months back with an airline, but due to everything going on with the coronavirus, they have postponed the training date. If you guys are going through the same process, you can relate. It is not cool, but it's okay because we all have to stay safe. Everybody else has to stay safe, and we have to take the right precautions, and it's okay if we have to wait a few months to even a year. If you guys are out there and you have already gotten a CJO and you're being held off because of this, it's okay. I'm right there with you. We are not alone, and we're almost there. So just stay positive with that. Like, that really just makes me happy just thinking about it. So your first step really to becoming a flight attendant is apply for the job. Go on all their websites, go in the career sections and apply as a flight attendant. There is a website, I'll link it below. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'll link it below. That's gonna tell you all of the airlines that are hiring at the moment, and it's updated very frequently. So you will always see what airlines are hiring and their window is open. So that's super helpful. That's what I use to keep a tab open on my phone all the time. So if you see that airline open up, send in your application. So you're going to apply online for your airline. And then after that, you're going to wait. This whole process, and even a flight attendant, is all about waiting, patience, and persistence. So you're going to put in your application and you're going to wait for a response. Now that response could take anywhere from a week to a few months to even longer than a few months. I was with one airline and I believe it took them like a month to get back to me to get a video interview. I believe it was like a month. And then after I did the video interview, I think it took them like 2 months to get back to me to do a face-to-face interview. My most recent interview that I had went to, the airline that I got my CJO for, they got back to me within like a week, like every single time. You're gonna have to wait for them and be patient, and it's okay. Trust me, it's okay. Just fill up that time with something else that you want to be doing, like maybe studying for the face-to-face interview or studying for the video interview. Once they respond back to you, they're either going to tell you thank you but no thank you, apply again in 6 months or so, or they're going to say yes, we would love to interview you through a video camera or over the phone. That's going to be your first step. Normally they don't just jump right to face-to-face interviews. You have to do the video interview first. So the video interview is usually like a recorded interview. It's going to pop up some questions on the screen. You're going to read them. You have about a minute. Every airline's different, but you have about a minute maybe to think of an answer. You have more like 30 seconds to think of an answer, and you have like 3 minutes to respond. So that can be intimidating, let me tell you what, and you don't usually get a chance to redo it. So you have to get your words out properly, come up with a really good answer, the best answer you possibly can, and get that on camera for them so that they can look at you and decide if you have the right look and feel of a flight attendant, if you're fit for the job as far as they can see. Because, you know, somebody might be watching your video interview who's looking for something just a little different than what you might be. But another flight attendant recruiter watching your video in another airline or on another occasion, another day, they might see you and you might be exactly what they're looking for. So don't be discouraged if you don't get the job or get another interview at the first try. Everybody's different, and it does take time. So like I said, patience and persistence. So you're going to send in the application. They're going to respond to you, going to ask for that video interview, and then you're going to have to set up a time for yourself. They're going to give you a little window of how long they're going to allow you to prepare for this. So it's normally a few days or so. So while you're doing your video interview, let's talk about the look. You're going to want to dress very professionally, pretty much just as professional as you're going to want to dress to your face-to-face. But when you're at your face-to-face, you're going to want to I just went all out. I mean, I wore the stockings. You're not going to see the stockings in the video interview because you're going to be sitting like this. It's just going to be your upper half of your body, so really you could wear pajamas if you wanted to. But so you're going to want to wear a very professional blouse, or I would just go for a blazer or like a suit jacket. It's always a good call. Just get a suit jacket, put that on, a white blouse underneath, maybe a blue one, maybe a light purple, nothing too crazy whatsoever. Your jewelry is going to be very, very minimal. I would say just like one pair of stud earrings or like baby hoops. Go for the studs if you want to be safe. Pearls, everybody does pearls. I love pearls. It's kind of basic. People kind of think of it like that, but it's really professional. It's beautiful, and it's the flight attendant look. So if you want to play it safe, go with the pearls. If you want to do something a little different, go with a very small, minimal chain necklace with one little medallion or whatever it may be on it. Very small, not hanging too low. It should be like the size of this, not much smaller, maybe a little, like, you know. But and like I said, very minimal jewelry. You're not going to want all these piercings in. I had to take all that out. So just look very professional as you can. Your makeup should be very minimal. Some blush, maybe a little bit of contour, like not even really, but like a little contour, some bronzing, very like natural eyeshadow, maybe do your eyebrows, and some like lip color. And that's about it. You should not be going all out with your makeup. Oh, eyelashes, of course. Don't forget the eyelashes. That's just a given, though. Your hair should either be, you know, obviously styled cleanly and nicely. Either keep it long and styled nicely, maybe a little bit of curls, nothing crazy. Remember, nothing crazy. Or you can keep it up in a bun or a ponytail, which is what I did. I think my first time around, I put it in a bun for the video interview, and then for the face-to-face interviews and my second video interview, I put it up in a ponytail. What I do for my face-to-face interviews is I put it in a like a low-hanging ponytail, and I do a little braid like right at the top that hangs down, and then I wrap it around the wire of my ponytail just so it has a little like design and it shows I put a little bit of effort into it. So they're going to ask you a few questions that are situational and more personal, and questions that are like, why do you want to be a flight attendant? Why do you want to work for our airline? What are your biggest weaknesses? What are your biggest strengths? Things like that, that a lot of other jobs will ask you at an interview. But you have to really study for these questions. Don't just wing it. Definitely look on Glassdoor, look on the internet, watch YouTube videos, anything you can to prepare for these interviews, because this is going to be your way in. It is what they see from you for the first time, especially on the video interviews. It's your very first impression that they're going to have on you. So make sure that you're prepared. They can tell when you are not prepared. Some of the questions, like I said, are going to be, why do you want to work for this airline? That is a huge question. For that, you're going to want to research a little bit online and see some facts about your airline, maybe who's the CEO of it, you know, maybe a little bit of history. Why? Just think it for yourself, be honest. Why do you like this airline? Why do you want to work for them? I was asked this question both in my video interview and in my face-to-face interview. And in my face-to-face, one thing I was like proud that I thought to say, and another YouTuber gave me this idea for this answer because he made a really good point. He works for the same airline. So I got the CJO with a low-cost carrier, and one of the things that they asked me was, why do I want to work for this airline? And I was able to say, since it's a low-cost carrier, a lot of people are very excited to be to be flying right now. They don't always get to fly. A lot of families and people on low-cost carriers don't have the extra money to be traveling constantly throughout the year. So a lot of people are excited. You know, this is the first vacation some families have had in years, or maybe your first girls' trip with your friends, and it's exciting to them. I think that the passengers on those kind of flights are really fun, and they're excited to be there, and I really appreciate that. So I was able to mention that, and I think that they liked that answer. They're going to ask you, why do you want to be a flight attendant? Be honest. Tell them, don't just say I want to travel. They know you want to travel. Don't say you want to travel. We know. Say maybe you want to become more cultured, or you want to experience different cultures. Say you love people. I mean, we all love people if we want to be flight attendants. Say you love to meet new people and you want to help people. Say you love the customer service industry and you would love to be able to service people and give them a great experience on a flight, that it makes you smile to make them smile. Things like that. Be a very positive person. Oh, and by the way, smile the whole time, the whole interview, of every interview you go to, every time you're on camera and you're in front of a recruiter, you put on a big smile, please. It's super important. They're just gonna love that. You have to be a smiler and a happy person to be a flight attendant. Nobody wants to see a flight attendant that's grumpy all the time. No, 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 no. That's gonna make your job harder if you're not smiling and grumpy, because people are just gonna like you more if you're just a happy person. So go ahead and smile the whole time. Don't until it hurts. So like I said, they're going to ask you a couple questions on these interviews that are going to be a little intimidating, some even worse, like what are your biggest weaknesses? Now that's scary, okay? Because you have to tell them something bad about you, something that you don't want to be a characteristic of yourself. And I personally said, I believe I said my biggest weakness was that I'm a bit too compassionate sometimes. I like to make people happy and smile and give them all that I can, that sometimes I may not see. Sometimes people will take advantage of that, but throughout life I've become more aware of that, and I know that as a flight attendant I cannot let that happen, and I have to be more firm and really control the situation if need be. But I think that was kind of a positive way to twist it, was that, I'm a little too compassionate. I really feel for people and I really want to help people, but sometimes they can take advantage of that, and I have to be aware of this. So whenever they ask you a question that is a negative, they're going to get a negative out of you, twist it, spin it so that it turns into a positive. Big, big deal. That is the only way to answer that question. They're going to ask you something like, tell me about a situation or a certain time at work where a customer was upset and how did you handle it? So they say to answer this in the STAR format. And I believe STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. Now I try to answer it in this format sometimes, but if it doesn't come to you naturally, you don't have to. Just make sure you kind of explain yourself thoroughly. Tell them what's going on. Tell them, don't think STAR, oh, now I'm on T, now I'm on A. No, that's going to confuse you because it confuses me. Just tell a story, let it come naturally, relax a little bit in these interviews. I know it's coming from me. I'm so nervous on the camera sometimes because I'm so new to this, and we all are. I am, maybe not we all are, but we're new to video interviews. Even that was really nerve-wracking. So don't overthink too much. Just really enjoy the moment and the fact that you got this interview. Just be so proud of yourself and so happy and excited, and just think, I want this job, and just let it flow out, really. So you're going to want to explain the situation of what may have happened that one time at work. Tell them how you kind of got a plan together and how you executed that plan, and then give them a result, hopefully, and it should be honest, but give them a result that ends in a positive way. Like, I was a nail technician, and I said that my client put her purse on the floor while I was doing a pedicure for her one day. She was a very brand new client, and the pedicure station started to leak, and I didn't know it was leaking, so it wasn't exactly my fault. But she was very upset, and I told her, oh my goodness, I apologize. I took her bag, I went and dried it in the back with some paper towels under the little hair dryer in the bathroom. I dried the bag very nicely, but she was still pretty upset and wanted to speak with the manager. So I grabbed a manager, had her talk with her, we had her bill comped, and then through the rest of the service, I was just talking to her, asking her, a little more about her life, getting to know her, nothing too crazy, but, getting to know her and being very friendly with her and making her feel comfortable and well taken care of. I know she was super appreciative of that, because she ended up coming back to me later on a few more times after that. She thanked me, she tipped me very well, and it was on from there, and she was a returning client. So that's always a good result, and you want to give them an example of a situation similar to so. For the face-to-face interview, you are also going to want to dress very, very, very professional. You're going to want to wear like a pantsuit, a skirt suit. I wouldn't even go with a dress personally. I remember in my first face-to-face interview that I didn't get the CJO with, but I did get very far into the very last step of the face-to-face interview, where they send everybody home and you get your final one-on-one interview. The only people chosen were people in skirt suits and pantsuits and blazers and such, so please wear a suit. I think it goes a long, long way. So when you dress for this, like I said, you're going to want to wear a suit, you're going to want to wear pantyhose or stockings, you're going to want to wear a very short minimal heel, very short, black or nude, but I would suggest just wearing black stockings that are a sheer black or a nude color, um, and minimal jewelry, hair put back or up in a bun. You might want to wear your hair down. Some airlines allow hair down while you're working. I would look online and see what the uniform rules are for that specific airline that you're interviewing with, and then see how you should be dressing according to how they dress as flight attendants. That will really take you far. It'd really give you some answers right there. Dress how a flight attendant at that airline would dress. Another thing is that those interviews, face-to-face interviews, can last all day. They're going to be from 8 or 9 in the morning to possibly 5 or 6 at night. I mean, I started at, it was 8 or 9, I think it was 9 a.m. So it probably ended around 4 o'clock or so. And then they wanted us to go straight to the testing facility to take our drug tests. And I went to that facility. This might be TMI just a little bit, I'll try not to, but I went there and I wasn't alone. There was like 3 or 4 other people dealing with the same situation. We go there, and if you don't go enough in the cup, you have to redo it. They're not gonna let you come back tomorrow and then take the test. You have to go immediately straight from the interview to the lab, take your tests, and then you can go home. So I went a little bit, not enough, along with like 4 other people, and we had to wait there. We weren't allowed to leave and come back. No, we had to sit in that lab I sat for like 2 hours until I was sure I was going to go enough. So I didn't leave that facility till about 7:30. So I was I think I started my day at 8:30 because I arrived early. That's another thing. When you are doing a face-to-face interview, please arrive early. Do never be late. If you are late, they won't let you in. So try to be like 30 minutes early. That's pretty safe. You can be 15 minutes, but I wouldn't do that. I would be 30 minutes early. So I arrived at 8:30 and didn't get out until 7:30. That's 11 hours. That's 11 hours, and I didn't really eat all day. I had like a granola bar that I ate, some little snacks in my bag, but I didn't even have a lot. So that was a rough day. You're gonna wanna bring some water, some coffee. Thankfully it was at a hotel, so I could have bought like some more snacks. I just ended up buying a water because I was just so enthralled in the moment and so excited and just wanted to be there. So please bring snacks. It's gonna be a long, long day. Oh, and don't pee towards the end because you're gonna wanna save that in case they send you somewhere. So hold it towards the end. Another thing, in your face-to-face interviews, you're going to want to take as many opportunities as you can to talk to a recruiter or to answer questions without being too pushy and too loud. You know, think your questions through and don't get too excited and then answer something just because you're so excited it's the first thing that popped to your mind. You know, think them through a little bit. You know, if someone's asking a question, flight attendant recruiter is asking a question, and you have an answer, raise your hand, answer. You want to stand out and be seen as much as you can because there are going to be 50 other people there, 100 other people. I mean, they had a big interview date one day. It was like 400 people were there. Now that's crazy. I don't know how they do that. They probably split them up into groups and have like groups of 50 or something, or groups of 100 in rooms. And then so that they can actually answer questions, because you can't have a room full of 400 people. That's kind of crazy. But so, you know, answer questions, raise your hand, stand out, look interested, you know. Don't just sit there too quiet and, you know, don't say anything, because you want to show that you want this job and that you've got answers for them and you've got questions. So go ahead and do that. Really try to get those answers out. Say you're going to have a break, and they're going to give you a break or two in there because they're just such long days. From one of my breaks, I think actually really for both of them, but one I did go and get a water during it. But the first break, I sat back and introduced myself to a couple of the recruiters that were hanging out, because everybody else is gone out of the room except for a handful of us. And it's like, I might as well be polite and professional and walk up and shake their hand. Don't just say hi. Go ahead, put your hand out, shake their hand, and introduce yourself, so that they see your face, they know your name, and hopefully they remember that, and they appreciate that you just took the initiative to go talk to them, because they know it's nerve-wracking. They know it's hard to meet new people in general, but that's what this job is about. So they want to see that you can meet new people and have fluent conversations with somebody that you don't really know personally whatsoever. So definitely take those opportunities of your breaks to go say hi to the recruitment team and introduce yourself. Maybe ask a couple questions. Say, how long have you been a flight attendant, or what made you want to be a flight attendant? Just small talk a little bit. I mean, it's all fun too, have a nice time. Normally in these group interviews, they're all different, but you're gonna be in a room with everybody, and they might call you up to the front and put a fishbowl in front of your face filled with questions on little pieces of paper and say, pick one. And you're gonna pick one, you're gonna open it, and you're going to read off that question and answer it on the spot. I didn't do that. We never had that. So thank God, because that intimidates me a little bit, but I would do it. You have to do it. So those are called fishbowl questions. When you don't know what's going to be asked of you, it's completely random. Some are really easy, some are really hard. That's one part of the process that people are always talking about. Another thing is they are going to have you, what I was trying to say at least, is they're going to have you in a room filled with everybody, ask questions, possibly bring you up to the front, maybe not give you a fishbowl and ask you some questions still. And then after that part of the process, they're going to go back and kind of assess everything and probably write their notes and, kind of write down who they liked and who was asking questions and who seemed really interested. And then they're going to call everybody back one by one for a one-on-one interview with the recruitment team. And that's your time to shine, because you're in front of the recruiters and you better stand out and answer those questions right and professionally, and really get the point across that you want this job and you want to become a flight attendant. It can be intimidating, but thankfully the airline I got the job with, and even the one before, but the airline I got the job with, they were so kind and so nice, so friendly. Like, I feel like I could be friends with some of them, and that's what they want. They want to work with you and be able to be friends with you, and you have a great personality, because they can train you everything else. They can train you safety, they can train you the planes, they can train you everything else, but they can't train you how to be a nice person and easy to get along with. That's what they're really looking for at the end of the day, is your personality, which is why I said smile, ask questions and seem really excited and into it. That's what they're looking for. So the people, thankfully, that were interviewing me were so kind and made it easier for me to just be myself and smile. And even though being interviewed, I was able to just giggle a little bit every now and then, because they made me feel like I could. So that was just such a great feeling, and that really excites me to be working with this airline. Like, I'm really, really excited. After that, they're going to call you in and you're going to have your one-on-one. They're going to ask you similar questions. They're going to ask you a little maybe more personal questions about the airline itself. Like mine was, what are a couple things that you're going to want to tell somebody flying with for the first time? And I said, it's a low-cost carrier. They're going to want to know that you're going to have to pay a little bit extra for baggage and for your carry-ons. It's not like, the thing, you're not going to phrase it in a negative way, but you're going to let them know so that it's not a surprise to them. Say if you're helping them get a ticket or something. I don't know. They should be on the plane already if I'm a flight attendant, but that was my answer. So you're going to answer a couple questions for them, some that you've already heard and some that are new. So just be prepared. Like I said, study, even for just these interviews. Do not go in there without preparing yourself. Believe me, I promise you, you will regret it if you do. I was gonna say you won't regret it, and you won't regret it if you study, but you will really regret it if you do. So don't wing it. It's a serious interview process, and it's a dream job. It's one of the best jobs in the world. So please go out and get it and take it very seriously. And then, okay, so after all that, they might give you the CJO on the spot, or they might call you back, and you're gonna have to wait again. Now, this whole job is hurry up and wait. Hurry up to the airport, get there on time. Oh, your flight's delayed. Okay, wait for an hour to 4 hours. It's all about hurrying and waiting. It's crazy. But the whole life, the whole job is crazy and so sporadic. And honestly, that's what I love about it. I don't want to have like a 9 to 5 where every day is the same and I'm in the same office. There's nothing wrong with it, but I want some change and some excitement and some differences in my day-to-day life. Like I'm so thrilled to have this opportunity, even to just go to training, and I will pass training. It is going to happen. Putting it out there in the universe. I'm a little nervous, but it's gonna be okay, and I am so excited. So you guys should be too. So yeah, you're gonna wait for that email back, and I pray and hope that you get it back, that you get this job, and you get to training, and you get your wings, and you can fly. We can fly with everybody else. So I wish you all the best if you are going through this process, and if you want to go through this process, just go for it. Like, you know, you don't have to go to the interview if you get it or do it. Like, send it out there. Think about it for a little while, because you might not get a response right away. So you have time to think and prepare for those interviews as well. But I say go for it. If you have any little inkling, or really think about it though, too, but I say go for the application process at least. But if you have any little inkling about if you know, maybe you want to work as a flight attendant, or maybe you want this job, do a little bit of research, because it really isn't for everybody. It's a hard job, even though it's a wonderful job. It's hard. The hours are very long. You're not going to be home a lot. Your life is going to be consumed by this job. So make sure you have the lifestyle for it, the energy for it. You just make sure it's the job for you, because it's a hard, difficult job that I've heard, and I'm ready to give it a try, but I can completely understand that's not for everybody. I mean, it even intimidates me a little bit. You might have to pick up and move out of your state completely, out of your city, let alone, but out of the state, you know? So you might have to completely relocate. They will relocate you if you get this job, and it's not specifically to a certain city that maybe you already live in or that's nearby. They will relocate you, most likely, so be prepared for that. But not to discourage you, that could be a great thing. I mean, you're going to meet new people all the time. You're going to meet new people in your new city that you live in. You're going to meet new people on the planes and in other countries and other states. I mean, it's all about new experiences and meeting new people. So go for it. You know, don't hold back. It's all a good time. So good luck to everybody who is going through this process, and good luck to you guys also who are waiting for their new training date. I mean, we've got this. It's going to come eventually. We're just waiting. So I'm right there with you. I totally understand the feeling. And I can't wait to see all my fellow trainees, all my fellow trainees that are going to be with me during training whenever they do decide to relocate. They were all a fun bunch of people. So you guys have a great day. Good luck, and I will see y'all later.